he's on PC. Here we go. It's grand finals. It's like 3 hours and 6 minutes in, I think. I'll check. 2:56.
Is your tag 2006?
No, but it's not up. But they didn't update it correctly. It starts at 2 hours and 56 minutes.
Okay. Is your tag Creeper most stock?
No, they just don't update that because this is a bad South Carolina weekly.
Okay, no problem. So anything I should know about this match before I watch it?
I'm trying to like implement more full hopping in this match because I don't know. I felt like that was something worth trying. And typically he misses lots and lots of edge guards if I just like float around the ledge and wait for him to get off. So I do that more than I would against another player.
Okay. Would you say he's seated above you or classically better than you?
Yeah, he beats me like almost every time, but I can beat like everyone else.
Okay. Okay, so looking at this right now, your damage output is not very good.
Like off punishes?
Yeah, you've got him like 2 or 3 times on the opening, and he's at 87%.
Okay. I agree with that. I think I struggle with punishing Falco a fair amount.
Okay. Okay, your defense and positioning is like not bad. Maybe you should watch it with me, or I'll tell you where I'm at. I'm at 5740 right now, so I'm still
5740, okay.
I got 40. I'm at 50 now. Just slowly going through this. Okay, you get that down here, and it seems like you both are very, very middle of the road in terms of like strengths and weaknesses.
Elaborate.
Um, I mean, are you like, is he the best in your state?
He's number 1 in the state, I'm 3.
Okay.
I think that he's good at pressure mostly. And I think that I'm bad at almost everything against Falco, but usually I'm good at like neutral and avoiding getting hit.
Yeah, I definitely would say that the way you take hits in this matchup can definitely be improved, and it's just a matter of how you reset. Sometimes when you're resetting, you're like not moving far away, or you're like still in the same spot. Falco's
Am I
just gonna
one?
hurt you. Say again.
Right. Do you mean like I'm staying in the same place like when I get lasered too much or like after an exchange?
A little bit both. I haven't picked any micro situations right now. I'm still kind of broadly looking at this match.
Okay, okay.
And for the most part, you like get close to him and just take a lot of trades. So
And I don't want to be doing that against Falco.
you don't want to be doing that in
I
any of
don't.
your matchups.
Yeah, as Marth, you don't really ever want to do that.
No, right? So like
All my moves are low damage.
well the way you want to handle it is that you want to move your character so that like your wrist is not hitting them, more like your blade's hitting them, right?
Yeah.
Um, this will be probably one of the big things we go over.
Okay.
Your overall positioning and stuff is like fine. Um, you can definitely dash better out of like hit stun and other things, or like
Yeah, I agree.
It's okay. You both are at like 3 stocks. You're at like 90% now.
In game 2.
Mm-hmm. He's not very good at edge guarding you.
No, he's really bad at edge guarding Marth.
Okay. Yeah. A lot of these attacks are not DIing very well at all. The best way to just tell you is to just always slam far away from him. Right. There are a lot of times when he's like down airing you and you're bouncing, either normally or not smash DIing. Right. You want to.
Yeah. I think my smash DI is pretty bad against Falco. I know to go out, but I don't always execute on it.
Okay, that's good.
Do you mean, is my regular DI okay, or are they both problems?
They both need to be improved.
Okay.
There are a lot of times where it looks very neutral. So that's another sign that you didn't DI fast enough, or that you're DIing the same direction of the move, right? You can't. Nothing happens when you DI the same way that the move sends you.
Right.
Right there, like he's doing like a soft nair to F smash. Like these moves can be like hard DI'd out.
Yes, that makes sense. I find it difficult to DI a lot of hits, like one-off hits in neutral that just lead immediately into a kill move. Because you have to like predict that you're going to get hit by it, and I understand that. I don't always do it.
For this smash DI?
To DI something like a weak nair in neutral and do an F smash, you kind of have to know you're going to get hit. Because it's just like, you have to DI the first move correctly, you're not DIing like out of a combo. I don't know if what I just said makes any sense.
No. There's some truth to that, right? Like, yes, you have to kind of know it's happening as it's happening, but it's also reactable. So like as he throws his body on top of you, you should know. So this is just the big problem is like I can't. I'm pausing the game. I really can't teach you these visual cues or like see how you react live, right? Like it's actually very important that we play if we can. So like a big thing is you're saying it's too hard to react to him attacking or DIing you, or you have to like predict it, but you don't. The cue is he jumps at you from a certain distance.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right, like once he leaves the ground and he's drifting at you at a certain angle and speed, you should know what's about to happen. Right?
That makes sense.
So there are a lot of cues that you need to, especially when you're watching on YouTube, right? Because a lot of our lesson is just me watching this match, right? So hold up. When we're watching this match, you yourself can do yourself a favor, right? And already point out big glaring weaknesses. And all you have to do is just hit pause or replay on certain scenarios, right? That you notice that like you just played them wrong.
Yes.
Right. So like you definitely want to just take care on like just looking at like freeze framing or positioning and seeing like, okay, he is about to nair me from here and I don't DI this, right? So like you just like rewatch it, like when did he nair from where and could I have positioned differently, right? So I'm gonna pull up the game. Can you pull up my stream real quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Survival.
It's kind of loud.
Mark Kirby.
Jesus.
Are you melee every day?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
I'm watching an ad, then I'll be in.
Don't worry about it.
Ready? Go.
Okay.
Okay. So when you're fighting Falco, right? He can't jump onto your body from this distance. Does that make sense? Like it's up to you to know what this kind of looks like.
From what distance?
Okay, so watch Falco. Right?
Okay.
This is a dash short hop. Okay?
Right.
So it's up to you to understand how far Falco can go from his jump and his laser, right? Or his jump and his aerial, right?
Okay.
So from this distance, I can dash short hop onto you, right?
Yes.
But from this distance, as I'm jumping, you have enough time to like wave dash back or do whatever. You have enough time to like F smash me, basically.
Yes, that's correct.
Right? So if you don't F smash or wave dash back or block or whatever, that's like you have enough time to know you need to DI. Does that make sense?
Right. So, how do I phrase this? The Falco is trying to get close enough to me to limit the options that I have, and also like I don't have time to like. If he does it like from as close as possible, it becomes harder to both DI it and defend against it. That's his goal, is to inch in with lasers and things, right?
Of course. If he's in this position,
Okay.
it's very difficult to react. Right? This is why I didn't start the lesson from here. I started the lesson from here.
Right, I understand.
Right? And you're asking me, what do I do here?
Yes,
Right.
basically.
You do this. You reestablish space. Okay?
Okay,
the,
so how do you...
the point of this area is not to fight. The reason you don't fight here is because Falco's strong and you're weak.
Right, because he gets in close range before I can get moves out.
Well, it's possible for you to win, right? But the circumstances are less likely than his circumstances, which is why I label it as he's strong, you're weak.
Right, I want to keep him at like mid-range.
Well, yes.
I mean, in general, not...
Well, most
100%.
importantly, most importantly is that you don't want him to be strong, right? And when you say you want to be at mid-range, it's you want to be strong and you don't want him to be strong, right?
Right.
So at this range that when I first started this lesson, he cannot hit you, right? So this is where I kind of always start the lesson, is like, if you're here, of course it's bad, and of course it's hard to react, and it's bad. You're gonna lose, right? So do your very best to reset the positioning as much as possible to something like this.
Okay.
Right, and you want to take it one step at a time, because it's going to be hard to go from here to like hitting him, right? Because he's always moving and you're always moving, right? But let's just stop and think for a second, right? I know there are times where your movement's constricted, right? You like take a laser and then you're stuck, or you have to smash your dash frame perfect or whatever. You'll get better at all these things, right? But you'll get better at power shielding, dashing off of hit stun.
Yes.
All of these things involve athleticism and you kind of just knowing frame data better, right? And if you miss your dash, that's probably because you dashed one frame early, or there's lots of things to explain these small things. But I kind of want you to like pause and hold that thought for a second, right? Like on becoming perfect on the counterattack or whatever, right? Let's just like kind of look at the game like this, right? Where like you kind of freeze frame it as much as possible, right? If you get stuck here, it's okay, right? If you get stuck here, you're weak.
Right. It's fine to get stuck outside of his effective range.
Exactly, right? So like it does get frustrating and it does get hard to handle the stuff, but ultimately you must never get frustrated or risk combat here in risky ways, right?
Right. I shouldn't be trying to like force things where he's strong.
Yeah, exactly. And it's tough to just like say that lesson out loud, because a lot of the times during the match you'll just get frustrated or pinned, or like you back off so hard that you're stuck here now.
I think it's worth telling you, just for your knowledge, that I am like very much a dash dancing Marth, and that Falco does frustrate me.
Yeah, okay. So let's work on that, right? So let's show you something, okay? You do this, right? And he shoots a laser. That's okay. And
If I jump back and I get hit by a laser, yes, because
if you jump.
Wait, you jumped back, right? I'm sorry, the stream might be desynced a little.
No, I just dashed.
Okay.
Right. I paused here, so let me know if you're seeing the pause with me dashing away from Falco.
I'll tell you when I see the pause. I haven't seen one yet.
Okay.
I should probably refresh.
Yeah, maybe that will help.
Okay, I just saw the pause. Let me refresh. Okay, I am back.
Okay. So when you're here and he shoots a laser, this is okay. And I said okay in a very hesitant way because I want you to know how many things are at play. Right?
Right, he's like gaining stage control because I'm retreating.
Exactly. Right. So I want you to know from this position, it's kind of okay. Right? But from this position, it's getting weaker and weaker.
Right, the further back I'm going, the worse the positioning is.
Yes. And the reason this move is so strong is because of your profile and how you kind of move away from this spot, right? So I started this lesson with, it's up to you to know this spot, right?
Right, the spot that's like a couple character lengths away.
Well, it's how far he can move with his dash jump, right?
Yeah,
Falco, this is how he moves to fight you.
Yeah, it's outside of his most common approach.
Yes, right, and you want to be able to react to it. Okay, so if you dash away on reaction to his dash in, this is good. Right, you're resetting the space. Okay, but if you're too far away and you're dashing back, now he's still like kind of pouncing on you, and you're just giving up a lot of stage.
Right, and then you get cornered, and then you can't deal with like lasers and nares.
Yes, and I'm glad you held on to that thought because watch this too, right? Instead of just going back, I can come back with a fair, right? Or I can wave dash back F smash, or even just hold my position.
Right, you can just take the laser and like counter his approach somehow.
Well, especially if I'm at this length, right? The reasoning is I know his jump in, right? I'm always wary of this move. So even if he shoots me from here, I'm okay with staying there and not, like, I can't rush forward as Marth in this scenario because he can threaten this. Does that make sense? Like, as Marth, you have to be okay with not moving too far forward into that position, right?
Right, drifting, I mean, in general, I think drifting in off aerials with Marth is, like, pretty unsafe. Unless you're hitting them.
And I want to qualify this with you with the spacing, right? Because of his dash jump, right? You don't go closer just because he shot you a laser, right? Because he shot you a laser, you have to anticipate he might dash jump into this spot.
Right. Do you never dash in off a laser? You do sometimes, right?
Okay, so if he shoots a laser from this length, he's positive on all things.
Okay.
Right? There's only one thing that might work is you get under the laser with a dash attack. Right? But if he connects at that laser at that length, you're not winning. What's going to happen?
Can you go over it with an aerial? That doesn't work, right?
Well, you're asking things simultaneously, right? So he shoots a laser and you simultaneously beat him. Right? So, like, I want you to hold your question and just listen real quick.
Okay.
He shoots the laser at you from this length, okay? If you try to hit him, you're going to be here and he will be able to hit you. He will be able to act. So it goes back to you being in front of him when he's strong.
Right.
You don't want to be here when he's strong.
Okay.
Right? So if he shoots a laser at this length and then you dash in, you are playing into his game. Does that make sense?
Right. You're trying to keep your distance, so you don't want to be going in when he's also going in.
Yes, and because okay, but dude, because he's shooting laser here, he's like free, he's active, right? So that's the cue. Is like you don't want to go forward just because he shot the laser at this length. He can still do this, right? You want to look at a different cue, right? And you're using these vague and general things like you want to keep him at mid distance. This is true to some degree, right? But how can you punish him? Right? And it's because you want to look at his dash jump.
Right. You think you're focused more on spacing around and dealing with, like, the dash in down air and dash in nair, as opposed to dealing with the laser.
The laser is not what's hitting you or hurting you.
Right. That makes sense, but I'm not sure I'd fully like applied it.
Yeah, and well, think about this, dude. How many lasers does it take for him to do what one of these is?
Like 4 or 5.
No, it's like 12.
Wait, one forward air?
One down air shine?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's fine. Okay, I understand.
Well, I mean, whatever the number is in your head, he needs to shoot more lasers than one down air shine is worth. And when he gets down air shine in you, you better believe it's more than that, right?
Yeah, no, it's a lot of lasers. I understand that.
Right. So like the ultimate point of this lesson is be okay with taking the laser and then don't take the laser and then enter this zone when he's available, right? So if he shoots a laser from this zone and then you go in here, he's already landed and ready.
Right. It's not about punishing the laser. It's about getting him to like down air or nair in a way that is good and that you can punish.
Yep, that's definitely one of the ways to handle it, right? Or it's just if you take the laser initially right here, right? If you do end up taking the laser here, don't dash forward. If you do end up taking the laser here, be okay with holding the position or retreating. Right?
Okay.
Because I started the lesson with don't fight him here when he's strong. And there's lots of traps for him to be here strong.
Okay, I think I understand.
Right. So you wanna give yourself some space to react to that dash jump, right? As you said, but you also want to make sure that when he does hit you or lock you down, that you don't reset the position to here. That if you ever get locked down or stuck, it's more like reset to here.
Right, create more distance. Don't like get out of his short hop nair range.
His short hop range, exactly, right? And then also don't concede too much distance, right?
Right, don't go all the way to the corner when
Right.
you could go like 30, like where you have like 30% of the stage.
Exactly, and you see I'm always like standing just outside of his short hop dash, right? And then when I dash back, I kind of like refocus on this spot outside of his short hop dash,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, I've been thinking about the matchup a lot in like trying to stay close enough to him that he shouldn't laser, but I think that he can't laser much, but I think that's probably wrong.
Well, okay, it's a decent thought, but I'll tell you, punishing this is hard, and this is the cue that he's strong. Okay, he's gonna shoot or do this, right? And he's fast and mobile, and for you to consistently beat this is difficult, right? It's not like Chic Needles or Peach Turnip.
Because, well, it's lagless and it's faster.
Well, it's much faster, right? The entire cycle is just much faster, and there's more freedom.
Yeah.
Right? He's jumping as he does it, right? So it's a decent thought to do it. And there are times, right, where like he dashes back and you catch him with the dash attack, right? So I don't want to shut you down from these options, but
Well, the dash attack is like a mix-up. That's not like a primary option. That's a thing I do like a couple times a game, right?
exactly, right? So like even if you find some small solutions, wave dash, F smash, or power shield into grab, right? The big stuff is you can't let the laser defeat you significantly, right? You're thinking of some ways to beat it, which is like I jump over it, or I power shield it, or I dash away from it, right? But like the big lesson right here is don't let it beat you in this specific way, right? Where like you take the laser and then you're in this position,
Yes.
right? And the more you give yourself more ground, like here, the more you'll be able to react, right? Right now, the aerials you do kind of look like this, kind of like full drifting, right? I need to see more variance in your drift, but before we even get to that part of the step, I just
More
need you to have more space.
Okay. Do you mean more variance in like direction or more variance in like, I guess strength?
I don't understand by variance in strength.
Like full drift back versus like half drift back.
I wouldn't describe them like that. I would describe them as just more, right? Because it's not binary, whether you drift left or right or a little bit
Right.
more, right?
It can be anywhere on that spectrum.
Yeah, it's artistic. So when I say more variance, I literally mean you need to practice every version of it, or more. You know, there's lots of ways you can be doing this fair and covering yourself, right? Like I can do it out of the pivot, out of drift forward, and right. Like, do you see how he's doing this backflip versus this one? And it's just the more space you give yourself, the more you're gonna allow yourself to do these different aerials. Right, but there are times where you're in this spot trying to express yourself the way we just with more variance, right? And when you're here, you're not able to express yourself.
Okay, I think the like practicing doing them with like different degrees of drift makes sense. That's something I haven't done for sure.
You want to be MS Payton there. I mean, like, seriously, do every exploratory version of it, right? Because
right, I mean, there's from standing, I can do like 100 different short hop forward airs or something. Probably, I can do a ton of them.
Yeah, and the ones that you practice are the ones that you're gonna do in tournament, right? So if you don't practice too many variations of them, right? So this one's like dash forward, drift back, right? And there's so many small versions of it, and like you can change your timings. You can do low, you can do rising. You want to practice these different variations, and more importantly though, is allow yourself the space in the match to do them, right? So like as I jump at you, you're already drifting backwards with this fair, right? It's so much harder to like hit this ground area where you were just at.
Yes, that makes sense.
Ready? Go!
Right, so from just watching the video, the two big things I noticed were, one, there are a couple times where you were engaging in this area, and it's tough, right? You'll learn tools to like leave this area, right? Go ahead.
Sorry. I get punished a lot for trying to like scuffle with Falco. Like I'll try to cross up, grab him, and I'll just get shined or up tilted or something, or I'll just be too close and I won't be able to react to the nair.
Exactly. So, in your own words, right? Scuffling does not work out in your favor a lot, and it's because scuffling with space animals is just not the key.
Right. There's like no character that does that effectively.
Except
Definitely
Spaceys.
Not. Definitely
right?
not Marth. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's just you have the sword, so play to your strength, right? And the strength really relies in you building this space. And I know it sucks to like wave your sword here because you're not hitting him, right? But you are hitting any jump ins he does, right? And you kind of have to like reverse the. Remember how we talked about like game state in one moment where like, yes, you'll get more precise in like power shield or like get the right openings, but by the numbers, if you're just not engaging here and instead like you get stuck here, by the numbers you're safer, right?
Yeah.
So the same goes with like how you attack them, right? By the numbers you want to like approach in certain ways.
Right.
So like
Yeah.
when you scuffle with him, think about certain things. Think about DIing away from him, right? So as he hits you, you can be further and further away instead of like maybe I can get into a scuffle again or win the scuffle, right?
Right. Like I shouldn't lose a situation and then rush back into the same type of situation.
Yeah, and that's part of like the mentality, right? Where you like maybe scuffling will break it up, or but then you say it to yourself as you're in closer and closer combat or scuffles or these random encounters, it gets worse. So maybe you dash back, you get hit, and you're like, well, it's time to just smash left and keep DIing away and away and away and like just do my best to reset it, right?
Is that not what you do when you are getting in combat by Falco? You do mostly hold away, correct?
No, that is what you do. That is so like.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. The example is like, you make the mistake. You miss position, right? Like this is a good idea, but then he still hits it, and then the thing that you should say to yourself is, go away, keep going away, so I can reset it, right? What you should not say is, I got hit barely. Let's kind of like scuffle my way back through this.
Right. I should be thinking about resetting more again.
Exactly. In the distance, right? Because like anytime you're here, the chances of something going wrong is high, right? But when you reset to here,
right. in general, if we just played an exchange, we're probably fairly close together, and Falco excels there compared to Marth. So usually after an exchange, I should be trying to get more space.
I can't say that one either, because usually after an exchange, there's a 50% chance you have advantage.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm comboing him, I obviously don't need to go further away.
Well, no, even in neutral, right? Even in neutral, like, I toss you
like
here.
if he's in the corner?
Well...
Or just, like, has less stage?
I really just can't generalize this. It's more like, when things are looking not your favor, create more space. Right?
Okay,
because in neutral, you might need to just press the advantage.
Yeah, when you have an advantage. I think create more space when you have a disadvantage sounds like a rule, like a general rule to go by. That makes sense.
Yeah. I don't want you to say, in general, create more space.
No, I understand that. Like, for an extreme example, if he is like in the ledge or like by the ledge lasering, and I have 80% of the stage, I should be trying to pressure him. I understand that.
Yeah. Right, but when uncertainty, that's like the key word, is like scuffles or uncertainty, or like this is the area, right? When he is certainly strong and your chances of winning are slim, right? Instead of going for the slim chance, right? Create more room, and even if you don't directly win, by the numbers, you don't lose, right? And this is the tough thing about Marth, is like there's a lot of things like this or this that are like very good, but can be only done through space. Right, so like I described, you can express yourself with these different aerials, but you can't do it here. If you do it here, he's just gonna kick you. Right? But these different versions are like tough for him to like jump into. Or maybe you trick him and then dash grab, right? Like all of a sudden you're in this spot dash grabbing him. Right? And that's more the advanced part, where like you're able to manipulate these spaces.
Okay, I think I get that.
Right? And like maybe he dashes in and you do this, right? And it's all about this horizontal length, and just by the numbers, Marth will not lose back here. Right? Of course, like you keep
if we play that situation 20 times in a set, I will probably win more than I lose.
Exactly.
From that range.
Right.
I mean, if he plays it really well, and I don't play it so well, he'll probably beat me there, but for the most part, I'll win.
Yeah, and there are, of course, weaknesses, right, where you back up too much, but just when you do risk and reward assessment, right, the risk-reward is poor here, and it's just better when you reset, when there's uncertainty, reset to this wide range, where you can kind of react. And if you take the laser, you just take the laser, right? You just crouch, and you kind of just react, and just be okay with it. But what you can't do, right, is like, take the aerial from here.
Right, I never want to take an aerial.
Well, I mean, if you took the aerial from here, that's actually a good bait.
Oh, wait, if I, like, take it from far enough away that he won't get the shine?
Well, I can't say take the aerial, right, but like...
When you say take the aerial, do you mean get hit, or just, like, he does the aerial?
He does, yeah, right, where he does the aerial, right? So, like, if you can get him to do, like, a soft nair, or, like, you crouch cancel it here, that's a win, right?
Yeah, I guess, because it'll push me out of shine range, so it should be a win.
Well, no, this nair that he does cannot be fast fold from this range.
Wait, it can't be?
It's up to you to know this length.
Yeah, I get that, I just didn't know that he couldn't fast fall.
Well, you have to know, based on this length, that if I do fast fall at this length, I won't touch you.
Oh, because he needs to be in the air long enough to reach me. That makes sense.
Right? So if he doesn't fast fall, you have frame advantage when you crouch cancel.
Right, yeah.
Right? So, like, it's so sensitive, right? Like, how this distance works, where, like, you pull him in with these things, right? Like, he's definitely going to laser and, like, try to trick you and do different approaches, right? But it's okay as long as you don't take the big fatty, right? The down air or, like...
Right, as long as it doesn't turn into, like, 70% or whatever.
Fight! Ready? Go!
And so when it gets to here, there are a couple tools, man. You can do retreating aerials, you can roll back, you can just dash dance like you have been, right? But you want to kind of like be ready here for where he jumps in. You don't want to be stuck dash dancing. I kind of briefly touched on this. You don't want to be dashing back kind of here.
Right, because then I'm going to lose too much stage. I already have very little stage in that position.
Well, you have. I'm actually in the middle of the stage doing this, right? But really, the thing is should Falco jump into me, I have very small chance of dealing with this.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the big killer, is like, if you keep moving away from him, you're not going to be ready to deal with what's coming at you. Right? So, like, there are times you want to dash away, right? When you're too close, right? But when you're far enough and you dash away, you give up your ability to punish his jump in.
If you give up too much stage, you lose the ability to punish jump in.
If you...
Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Well, dude, not just give up stage. Think about his jump height, right? Or his jump length.
Okay.
If you're so far away that he does a jump length and you can't reach it, are you really playing that neutral well enough, right?
Right. Well, you want to be as close as possible without being in their range.
Exactly, right. And it comes down to this short hop range, right?
Ideally, you want to go into their range periodically to bait it, but not be
Yes.
there when they actually attack.
Exactly, right. And you can notice how I'm doing this with different movement techniques, and like I'll like fare around here, right? Yeah. And there's different tricks.
The fares are like a bait and also like a prediction.
Exactly, right. So you can guard people from coming in, like if they jump, right? And it's a little bit of a mask of where you're landing.
Mask of where you're landing because of the drift thing that we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm, right? And like I said, you can't do these expressions too close. You kind of have to like be able to do this dash dance or these drifts.
Right, because Falco's like drift, like jump and like hold towards me nair covers a certain amount of space, and if I'm close enough, then even though I can retreat with my forward air or whatever, he'll just cover all the space.
Yeah, if you're too close, right?
Yeah.
If you're too close, right? So let's write some stuff down because we actually went over a bunch of topics and we're halfway through the lesson.
Okay.
So let's find my window. Where is it? Okay.
I'm gonna write some stuff on a notebook. Then.
Yeah, man. So a lot of it was taking a risk too close to Falco, right? And then like resetting the neutral distance. And then we talked about drifting variations on your aerials.
Right.
And like being okay with being far away. With
yeah,
how should I say this?
I think that was the right way to say it. I think I get impatient when I'm really far from Falco really often because I feel like I'm just taking laser damage and I'm not threatening him at all.
Yeah, and you have the stream open, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and there are times where retreating is wrong. Like remember, dashing back too far away from him, right? You can't punish his jump in easily. But a few lasers is okay, right? And if you're facing him from this distance, I think it's okay.
Right. I mean,
and
a lot of lasers is okay. Like I can take 15
20
lasers.
Yeah, exactly, right. And just always remember, like it's always worse to take that shuffle approach.
Yes, that makes sense. That actually is something that had been like subliminally in my mind recently, from like the recent losses.
Yeah, and you're like, wait, these lasers are not as bad as when he hits me. Yeah. And okay, so you have the stream open real quick.
Yeah.
You see this down tilt?
Yeah, I see it.
It's so far from Falco, right? But like this down tilt, right, that barely hits him. Let me tell you that this one is so much riskier than this one, right?
Because I'm close enough that he could have very easily jumped over it and down aired me.
Exactly, right. So like, they both miss, right? Both of these down tilts miss, but one is
safer.
Exactly.
All right, let me ask a question specifically about down tilt. I don't like down tilt against Falco because in my head, all the things that Falcos do in neutral all beat down tilt because they're either jumping to laser, jumping to down air, or jumping to nair.
Well, look at these different variations I have to protect myself. Right, so down tilt cancels into many ways, but most people only do down tilt dash.
Right, I like down tilt nair against Falco, and down tilt like drift back forward air.
Okay, so what I'll say is remember that this is when down tilt is bad because of the fact that he could jump over it, right? But it's less bad in these ways, right? When you're far away. And the last thing I'll comment is that when Falco gets to like this percent, it's actually very good to get like down tilts on him.
Because they'll get him to like up tilt percent.
No, not just that. They literally if you tipper them, they knock him down.
Wait, really?
Well, I mean, have you been watching what I've been doing to him?
I'm like a few seconds behind, so maybe you haven't done it yet. I haven't seen you hit him with a down tilt in a while.
It's okay. You'll see it soon.
What is like, if I'm down tilting at like a moderate range, like I'm outside of his short hop nair range, and I'm down tilting. What is that down tilt accomplishing? Because like against a Fox, I would do that down tilt, and it would beat like a run-in wave shine or something.
Yeah.
But against Falco, all of the things I expect him to do would just go over the down tilt.
Well, okay. So this wave dash back down tilt will beat some of the jump ins.
Right, that makes sense. Wave dash back makes a lot of sense.
Right, and it's not necessarily just spam it here, right? What I'll say is the screenshot, right? It's not exactly I'm telling you to do it here exactly, but like when you freeze frame it, right? The chances of you being punished are much lower.
Yeah.
Right, so like, should you be able to read his approach or something, right? Because there are people who do this kind of down tilt, right?
If I'm reading a Falco approach and I'm gonna wave dash back and then down tilt him after his aerial, shouldn't I just grab him instead? Usually.
Well, they have different range.
Fair. Okay.
Right, and maybe you duck under the laser, or I don't know.
That's interesting. Okay.
Well, I don't know. Like this one knocks him down, dude. Right, he's at 100, and so I knocked him down with down tilt. So
at 100, it'll definitely knock him down.
well,
I get that.
it's just you don't want to limit your options, right? And if you were doing down tilt to zone, there are a lot of Marths who zone like this, right? And you miss the down tilt in front of Falco. Right? And what I'm trying to say is if you're going to miss the down tilt in front of Falco, there's a chance this one would have been better. The far away one.
Right, that makes sense to me. I'm just trying to figure out like when down tilt in general is good. I think of a lot of moves as like, what is this beat from the character I'm fighting against?
Yeah, you should. You should. That's fine. But okay, like down tilt against Falco is actually good because it knocks him down and pushes him out, right? Anytime he's off stage, Falco's messed up. Anytime Falco's knocked down, he's messed up.
Yeah.
Right? So there are many times where Falco will get to like maybe mid percent 70-ish, you know, you get a vertical combo and then it's all just me running around like avoiding lasers and down tilting him or avoiding lasers and getting that one aerial.
Right, if Falco's at 70, I just need one clean hit to at least set up an edge guard.
Yeah. So like don't shut your options out with, you know, not down tilting. Or if you do down tilt, think about safe ones that cannot be punished, right?
Yes.
And just by the numbers, if you are not let me know if the stream is like kind of caught up, but like if you're too close and you keep throwing these attacks out, they're just not going to favorably work out. But if you give him a little bit of room to run into it and give yourself enough room to like back off on it.
Yes, I understand. On my screen, you just started a new game.
Okay, you'll see the pattern I'm showing.
Yeah, I saw lots of space down tilts and nairs from the range that we've been talking about.
Yeah, and so like there's just a chance when you do it too close that you should have just reset the space and like gave him a little bit of room to come in, right? Because Falco will skirmish with you, right? And you kind of have to predict he'll like wake up shine or he'll come and jump at you, right? And so I'm always respecting this jump spacing because I can't react to it. Right, I can't react to it at this when I'm too close.
you want to play at a place where things are reactable.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're close range with Falco, things aren't going to be reactable because he's fast.
Mm-hmm. Right, and the skirmishes favor him.
Right, you can play... Marth can play close range with, like, a Peach sometimes, and things will be reactable, but Falco is not... That's not the case.
Exactly. Exactly, right. So, you want to be able to reset the situation when there's uncertainty. So, like, when he lasers you, right, and you're far away, it's okay. You want to kind of just, like, hold this position and just make sure you're always ready for that big, heavy strongness, right? Like, whatever the strong thing that he's going to throw at you, you really want to prepare against it.
Right, and Falco's approach options, like, he can mix up the timing a lot, but his actual approach options are relatively linear. They really only do narrow down air.
Well, yeah, and it's really just this height, right? Or this length. You just have to know what this looks like.
Right, yeah, you just need to really, really internalize their short hop aerial range.
Right, and then they'll I mean, if you keep messing with this length, if you eventually become a god at this length, right, where, like, you keep drawing him in, and every time you counter his thing, they'll figure out different ways. The better Falcos will, like, get to here with lasers, right, real slow, and then they'll, like, trick you with, like, full hop or not, right? But ultimately, it doesn't matter who it is, this range is the same. Right,
and that range is Marth favor against every Falco player.
That range is what favor?
Marth favor.
Let's not say Marth favor, but more like, no matter what character you play, right? No matter, if even if I was teaching you Fox, I would have to teach you about Falco's short hop jump.
Right, look, that's Falco's zone of control.
Right, and you can think about this with all your matchups, right? Like, their range of control.
Right, like, Peach's real threatening range ends at the end of her dash attack, unless she has a turn up.
Exactly, but, like, you can actually react to some of her, like, dash attacks.
Yeah, you can also do that. The point where I'm actually scared of her ends, like, halfway into her dash attack or something.
Exactly, right? So, like, you use this as your basis of, like, how close you can get. Maybe you're crouching at that distance, right? So, should she dash attack you, you have that covered, right? Like, you can always kind of, like, predict one of the approaches, right? And kind of, like, play around all the other ones.
Right. You can like, focus on the
Focus.
strongest one.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, like, we focus on Falco's short hop dash, right? Because it's really threatening when he short hop dashes at us, right? So we're always, like, guarding in front of us, exactly.
That's the opening to all of his combos. If I lose to Falco, it's going to be because he hit me with that, like, 10 or 11 times.
Exactly, right? So, like, if you can deal with lasers, whether you power shield or not, whether it hurts or not, you really just have to avoid the big damage.
What's the reason I don't shield them? Because it gives him time to move in? Or I don't shield them, like, always, just because it gives him time to get in?
Okay, so what you don't want to do is to get stuck in shield here. And let me know if you're watching where I am right now.
Are you, like, shielding?
I'm, like, shielding right in front of Falco.
You have not started shielding yet.
Yeah.
Wait, we have a timer. I'm at 340.
Okay, why don't you refresh then?
Okay.
Ready? Go!
Maybe screen share next time would be easier too, but...
I'll get net play for next time.
Okay.
I just need to go to someone's house and have them help me out with it.
Yeah, get a nerd to fix it.
Okay, I'm at 320 now.
Alright, I reset the game, so let me know if... So... Shielding is okay, but what's gonna eventually happen is that you're gonna, like, block in front of Falco in that spot that you don't want to be stuck at.
Right. Well, you don't really ever want, like, a good Falco player to be hitting your shield with an aerial.
Disagree.
Right?
Disagree.
Unless they do it poorly, right?
You can angle your shield up, you can light shield, you can show shield and then wave dash back. Right? There are circumstances where it's okay, and, like, dude, Falcos do get shield grabbed.
Yeah,
it is possible, right? I'm not going to tell you
I'm just terrified of it.
You'll start recognizing it, and dude, when I first started playing, I used to just spam it. Like, I wouldn't know if the aerial was shield grabbable or not, right? And you started with, when you DI, you have to kind of predict it. right? And my counter was, no, you're gonna see the visual cue a lot earlier once you understand, right? And like the way they down air you or hit you, like remember I said from this length he can't fast fall his nair, and you go, what do you mean? And I go, literally from this length he has to, yeah, right?
Well, he can fast fall the nair, but he won't reach me if he does that.
Exactly, right? So you'll just start seeing visual cues a little bit better on like, is that a high aerial? I can tell because he initiated the down air rising, like from far away, or like there'll be just more cues, right? And like you don't want to shield close to him and be stuck in this position that we talked about, right? Where he's strong. Right? And you want to know how long it takes you to act out of shield, right? Your options out of shield and what they look like, right? So predict shield in these spots not close to him, right? Or if you are close to him, you have to prepare.
Right. Shield becomes better when I'm further from him.
And have a plan, right? You want to have a plan. So when you're
like
blocking,
a plan of what I'm gonna do after the laser hits my shield.
yeah, you're out of shield option, right?
Okay.
Whatever hits your shield, or if you just need to leave your shield. Sometimes you just have to leave your shield, right?
Yes.
So what you don't want is that you're stuck in your shield next to Falco when he's pressuring you, right? And that spot that even in neutral, it's bad, right?
Because if they're doing everything right, they're going to usually force a roll.
Or you're just in disadvantage. You can just sum it up there, where like,
okay,
right, where like it's just. But if you're shielding from far away in that kind of neutral we talked about, your out of shield options can still kind of work, right? Just like your neutral options kind of work.
I mean, if I'm 50% of the stage away from him and I'm not close enough to get hit, I can just shield and like drop shield or wave dash, and there's no real recourse there.
Yeah,
and
and
he gains stage.
Exactly, right. There are small recourses in stage positioning, but remember how I said you can't express yourself from a close range, right? Like these different fares or drifts, right? Same goes with your out of shield options. Your out of shield options become so much more limited when you're stuck close to him, right?
Yes.
But if you're in that good spot in neutral, the same spot we've always been kind of talking about, right outside the short hop jump, right?
Yeah.
Right. So you want to be able to like think ahead with your shield, right? If this happens, these are my out of shield options, and they're fast enough to kind of react accordingly. You know, you're not just shielding last second just because he's on top of you.
Right.
Or if he is, you know, you have a plan.
I mean,
you roll out or.
Right, and if you're getting in your shield without a plan, then you made a mistake and you're probably just going to get hit. That makes sense.
Yeah, right. And it's a lot of this is the initial positioning. So like if I shield outside of his short hop jump range, I have a lot of options. But if I shield inside of that range, there's just so many variations of him being strong and me like needing that exact counter.
Yeah. You need to play it like too perfectly if you're really close to him.
Right. And this is the same in neutral, right? Like the skirmishes favor him because of variations, right? And your variations are weaker close. But,
right, but sorry, go.
No, you're getting it. When you're far away, you can express yourself differently, right? There's more variation.
What is it I said? I said if you're close, you have to play it like too close to perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
If you're at that range outside of his short hop nair, then he has to play it too close to perfectly for it to be good for him.
Exactly. Right. So you always want to kind of, and you touched on this too, where like you kind of like enter that spot and then kind of like trick him to like go in, right? Like it looks like he's strong, and then you pull him in, and then you get that grab or something, and you'll start respecting this neutral more.
Here's my question. If I'm at that range, the range where I want to be at,
mm-hmm.
and he understands that that's disadvantage for him,
mm-hmm.
what if he just says, I'm never going to do that, and he just lasers? What do I do?
Okay. Eventually, you're going to just have to hard counter him if he just lasers, right? You're going to power shield or dash attack, right? But
I can only dash attack under the high ones, though, right?
I mean, even if they clink, even if you get hit by the laser,
I'm still gaining stage.
Well, you just reset and try again, right?
Okay.
And the ultimate point is whenever at high level, whenever a character becomes stationary, the other person has a good plan, right? And that plan just gets more locked in the more stationary or more of a read you get on them.
Okay.
Right? Like if you get a perfect read, you power shield grab or something, you know? If he's doing that one thing that you can't beat, you know, you just be patient. Maybe nair over the laser, be
If
patient.
it's,
Go ahead.
I can also use platforms, right? If he's just lasering, I can get in with platforms, right?
You can, but don't make the mistake. Let's look at platforms real quick. Don't make the mistake of using this platform, right? And then like entering the danger zone by accident. You know, like doing this, right? Let me know if you're on Battlefield yet.
I am not yet.
And you know you're getting to the point where like both players are respecting that neutral distance, right? And there's a push and pull to the game, and no one stands still, right? Everyone's kind of like
Right.
adjusting their space,
Standing still is very rare.
right? So
Okay, I'm on Battlefield now.
I kind of open up with don't fall into traps with the platforms of like falling into weak spots, right?
Right,
So
don't fall right into the range we're trying to avoid.
exactly, right? So you can use different techniques and different movement options, but always be aware of that main core lesson of like, don't be where he's strong.
The range that we don't want to be in, where he's strong,
Yeah.
is also about forward air range. So, like, are we only hitting him when he's in lag?
Yes.
That's not the case, right?
No.
That
No,
is the case?
it's almost that case. So this is the next part of the lesson, which is this far range of outside his short hop dash, right? Or his dash short hop. It's safe because you can react, right? But you can't hit him easily. It's very
Right.
difficult to get that hit, right? So there's actually a second range I teach. Okay? So the first range is the reactable neutral, right? You both respect it and you kind of know what's going to happen.
Okay.
The second range is the whiff punish range, right? The range that you're able to enter upon confirmation, right? So once I know for certain that I cannot get hit, I enter this amount of distance, right? And from here, I can dash grab, I can dash fair, I can do, you know, the small amount of moves that I can burst out of.
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
Sure. So, Marth has a few burst approaches, right? Like running down tilt or dash fair or dash grab, right? And what you want to do is you don't want to stand at those ranges, right? So like you know the range of dash grab, right? You don't want to stand there until you confirm it's safe.
So until he's in lag?
Sometimes,
What? Okay, what other things would make it safe in your opinion?
and that's the advanced part of it, right? Where you can say lag because that does kind of umbrella the term, right? But like, what if he's like down airing, right? He's not necessarily in lag because the hitbox is out and he's kind of safe, right? But
Well, he's committed.
He's committed,
If you're
exactly.
down airing, you are doing something, but you're committed for 20
Exactly.
frames or however long down air lasts.
Exactly, right. So, in a sense, yes, the word is just lag, right? But like, it's not just like they miss the L cancel or they whiff a grab, right? It's more like you are outside of what they intended. You went to the spot where you can, you know, just do that one thing, that short hop fair, that down tilt, right? But you don't do that until you know that's good or safe or there's a high chance it works out, right?
Okay.
And what I'll say is most people just skip that part, that preemptive filter, which is you don't enter that spot until there's a high chance of it succeeding or they're in lag or, you know. A lot of people just kind of get to that spot and hope they can just do that move.
Get to the like second place where you can whiff punish him.
Exactly, right. So you get to
can
that
you
spot.
Can you show me that range again?
Sure, I'm standing right there. So like the stream will catch up.
Tell me the time.
I'm at 348. So like
340.
it's basically that danger spot, right? Where Falco can short hop punish you. right? I don't enter that spot until I know I can do something.
Okay.
Right? And there are a couple moves I can do out of this range. I can like dash grab, I can dash fair. You know, it's all the things that he's watching out for himself, right? What are the moves that Marth can do real quick that will hurt me, right? He's standing outside of all that stuff as well.
Okay, so I would call that range like tipper forward air range.
Yeah, right?
That's approximately how long it is.
And it could be further, right? It could be that full length of dash grab.
Could it be dash attack range?
It could be.
Dash attack has a lot of range.
It could be, dude. If you're being precise, right? And remember I showed you those fairs that kind of like moved in and out and then I dash attacked?
Okay, so I need to figure out the range of approaches and go into that like when he's in lag or committed.
Exactly. Right?
Okay, but for the rest of the match, I want to keep him at like arm's length where he can't hit me with his approach option.
You want to be able to react, exactly. Right?
I shouldn't be focused on like being so close that I can stuff lasers with fair and stuff.
It's too hard, right? There's a lot of variation where it goes wrong.
Well, I'm 3-30 with the Falco in my area, and that's what I try to do, so I would agree that it's too hard.
There are certain Marts who power shield better than you, who are better at skirmishing, right? But those develop with time. Your
Right,
overall macro decisions are going to get better right now.
I would also say that basing your game plan around power shields is inconsistent.
Well, it depends on your athleticism, right? How strong you get, you know.
I suppose.
But the easy way right now is the big macro decisions, right? Like this big lesson is actually teaching you a lot, which is you knew like the dash grab or the dash attack ranges, right? These initiation ranges, but like the step between, right? You don't enter those initiation ranges until it's safe.
Don't enter those initiation ranges until it's safe. Okay. Yes, that makes sense.
Initiating only when it's safe.
Right. Marth can do that in lots of matchups. I just hadn't thought of applying that to Falco. Like, I talk about Peach a lot because that's my favorite matchup, but like Marth can actually just bait Peach into doing things and only interact with her when she's already done something half the time.
Yeah, when she's in lag, right?
Yeah. Because like she doesn't have answers to dash dancing if you do it correctly, like at all. So you can just bait shit out.
That's definitely right. But with Falco, what happens is his offensive pressure kind of stops your ideas, right?
Yes. He makes you he literally makes you hesitate for a few frames at the minimum.
And he pins you down in different spots, so it's hard to, refer back to that same exact type of game plan that you did with Peach. But ultimately, it's similar, right? He has a strength that he relies on, right? He's going to just come at you with a certain type of approach, and you want to prepare for it.
Yes. I want to ask about Nair. I think of Nair as like an anti-approach, like I want to use it to catch his Nairs. Is that about right?
Sometimes. What I'll say is Nair is super versatile, and the best way to use Nair is to make sure you don't drift too far forward with it.
Yeah, I agree. Nair's in place and retreat are usually better.
In fact, even dash shield stopping will make your Nairs better.
Yeah, I'm practicing shield stopping like currently when I do solo practice.
Yeah, shield stopping's a great tool, especially because, as I said, I noticed your drifting variations need work. So, when you dash and then shield, you get to stop your dash momentum and then practice your drift out of shield, right? So you can literally just practice your aerials out of shield with different drifts, and then go on to shield stopping afterwards, right?
Yes, that makes sense. I'm definitely going to start practicing like the drifts in particular.
So I want you to do me a favor. You can close the stream now because we're at the end of our lesson.
Okay.
I want you to open up 20XX. Do you have that?
Yeah, I have it. My Wii is not plugged in though.
Is it on Dolphin? Do you have 20XX on Dolphin?
Yeah, I'll just do that.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Plug in my adapter real quick.
So go ahead and do that, and I'll pull it up myself. If you want to follow along, you don't have to, but the stream's still watching. Let me turn this music down. Alright. So, the neutral, we did a lot of talking about neutral, and this would have been easier if we got our hands a little bit dirty, but I can give you a little bit of like technical spacing practice right now with 20xx.
Okay, I'm opening it now.
Because, you're hearing all this stuff, but you need to practice that precision too.
Okay, so...
Right. So, you're in 20xx, right?
Yeah, am I doing Marth and a CPU Falcon?
Nope, I want you to go to one-player mode.
Okay.
Alright, so you're going to cancel out to one-player mode, and then you're going to go to event match.
Interesting, okay.
Alright, are you in an event match?
Yeah.
Okay, so is the level 3 called Barrel Buster?
Yeah, I used to do Barrel Buster like every day.
Perfect, okay. So I want you to do this with me, right? And I want you to... So you should know that tippers break the barrels and non-tippers don't, right?
Yeah, at one point I did it every day. I got like 160 at my best.
You got 160, that's not bad. 200 is possible with Marth. It's very, very hard.
Is that like what you get?
I get 180 typically.
Okay.
What I'll say with this lesson is that you can do this lesson any way you want, right? You can do high score. I would also suggest that you practice shield stopping, right? So you only do attacks out of shield, right? You can do that. And you can also do only drift variations, right? You never do full drift.
Never do full drift?
I mean, that's one of the ways you can do this exercise, right?
Oh, okay.
Right. You can practice always doing full drift, never doing it. Shield stop only.
So practice this, but don't like just specifically try to get a high score.
Yes, right. The high score alone will help you with just tippers, right? Moving quickly and getting tippers.
Right, which is important, but not everything.
It is certainly important, but not everything, right? And if you practice right with never doing full drift, I guarantee you'll change the way you think about fair.
Okay, well, I practice almost every day, so I will start doing that.
Right, and there are, you can do rising fair, low fair, never drift, only shield stopping, and use these mix-ups to strengthen the way you express yourself, right? And then remember what I said is you can't express yourself unless you're in the safe spot.
Right, that makes sense. If I'm in the dangerous place, I just have to try to get out of it more so than
skirmish.
Fight.
Yep, yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Has that been an hour?
Yep.
Okay, that was interesting. I think I learned a lot.
Yep, you got the Twitch archive whenever I end this stream, and then I'll try to put it on YouTube as soon as possible as well.
Okay.
You took some notes, and I have a little bit too. Dude, I'm down to do another lesson. Netplay will certainly help if we can.
Yeah, I think this was helpful. Let me like play some and try to apply it and practice it, and I'll try to get netplay.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Am I like PayPaling you? What am I doing?
Yeah, I will DM you my PayPal information and then just send $20 as a gift.
Okay, I will talk to you at some point in the future then. See ya.
All right, awesome, man. Thank you.